campus. And I'd like to welcome everyone. There's nothing better than seeing all these students here for many different reasons, so welcome.
Yes.
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 Yes. Let us take a minute for a moment of silence, please. I'll ask Autumn Burker to come forth and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone will please stand.
Welcome, Autumn. All right, so Autumn will lead us in the pledge this evening. She's an 11th grade student at Page County High School and a member of the PCHS cheerleading squad. Her teachers describe her as a quiet and sweet young lady. She is also an incredibly hard worker who is dedicated to helping others. She began helping her mother in the PCHS concession stands last year. This mother and daughter duo run the concession stands during the winter and spring seasons for almost all the sports. The volunteer work does not stop there. When Autumn found out that a close friend was battling cancer, she led a donation campaign raising almost $1,000 in donations during one season. She also helps feed the JV football team prior to every game by either serving food prior to the game and helping making snack bags for long bus rides home. Autumn has a servant's heart who likes to help people. She is the type of person whose quiet leadership makes Page County High School proud. Thank you, Autumn, for being here and leading us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Autumn.
Yes. Dr. Huber, do you have any changes or additions to the agenda?
No, ma'am. Thank you. I do not.
Need a motion on
Make a motion
approval?
that we approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion made by Mr. Painter and a second by Mrs. Alger. No, not Alger, I'm sorry. Okay,
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
Yes.
yes, okay.
So let's make a motion? Right.
Yeah.
I make it, wait, hold up, sorry, y'all, the wrong one.
You can just read here that everything talked
Okay.
about. Yeah.
So I hear that everything discussed in closed session was pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A1 pertaining to the discussion, consideration, that goes all that? Okay. Or interview of prospective candidates for school board employment, appointments, transfers, resignations, retirements, discipline, or performance of employees at the school board.
Second. Have a motion by Ms. Taylor and a second by Ms. Bryant.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Citizen comments? Okay. Okay. On the consent agenda,
Make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Second. Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Alger and a second by Mrs. Bryant.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, we have a religious exemption for approval. Oh, okay, sorry. And approval for the minutes from August 25. Oh, it's already been, I'm sorry, I got you.
Covered
Okay,
it all.
got it all. Wasn't paying attention. Okay, recognitions.
Miss Rachel Berker. Huge round of applause for our volunteer of the month. Rachel Berker has been the heartbeat of all of our concession stands for over 2 years. Many nights she worked by herself during basketball season to benefit the athletic teams. She heads up the concession stands with volleyball, football, softball, and basketball. Oftentimes, you can find Miss Berker working in the concession stands with her daughter, Autumn. Rachel doesn't take credit and doesn't bring attention to all that she does. She truly does it out of the kindness of her heart. Miss Berker is always hardworking and kind to those that work with her. She is well respected by the other families and the coaches at Page County High School. Her tireless efforts help raise the funds needed by the athletic department. Her efforts do not go unnoticed by those around her. She was named Volunteer of the Year by the Page County High School coaching staff this past year. Congratulations and thank you, Ms. Berker.
Okay, student recognitions.
Here we go. This is the best part.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, we'll start with Luray High. Is that okay, Ms. Clark?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'll start with Elena Brown for participation in Massanutten Regional Governor's School. Congratulations, Elena. Bridget Dudley.
She couldn't make it tonight. There's a volleyball game.
Understood. Bryce Bailey, participation in Massanutten Regional Governor's School. Congratulations. Nope. Okay. Is it Mia or Mia Meyer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mia, congratulations. That's a huge honor. Trey Guzzi, participation in Massanutten Regional Governor's School.
Football practice ran long.
All right. Understood. Hunter Painter.
Same thing. Football
Okey
practice
doke.
ran long.
Good. Athletes and scholars. That's awesome. Natasha Peer. Coralyn Whiteside, participation in Massanutten Regional Governor's School. Proud of you. Good work. Ryan Patterson, participation in Braggs. That's awesome, Ryan. Great job. Isa Eppert, participation in Massanutten Regional Governor's School. Joey Miller, participation in Massanutten Regional Governor's School. Aubriana Bracken, participation in Massanutten Regional Governor's School. And Elizabeth is not here, correct? But we're gonna clap for her anyway. Elizabeth DePriest. Avery Orman, participation in Massanutten Regional Governor's School. All right, moving on to Luray Middle.
Okay, hold that thought. 1 second.
Okay,
Gotta
yes.
rotate.
Okay, sorry.
You guys are free to go. if
Thanks for
you'd like.
keeping me in line. Y'all have a great evening. Thank you for being here.
You too.
All right.
How sweet. Oh, my.
So his name is Troy. My wife had him 2 years ago. That's what we say.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Good job, Mom.
Absolutely. Congratulations.
Yes.
Yeah, you're
It's good to recognize. It's the best part of my Come on.
I know.
I'm so excited.
Okay.
Can I proceed?
Yes, you
Can I have
may.
your permission?
Yes, sir.
So the next students are all being recognized for participation in breaks. So we'll start with Luray Middle, Nikolai Cook. Congratulations. And then Levi Knoll. And Charlotte Seal. Now from Page Middle, we have Holly Hawkins. Did I say that correct? Okay, Holly, not here. Okay,
It's a flat.
all right, still clap. And Leah Heiston, not here. And Dawson Meadows. Gabriella Pierce.
Not here.
Okay. Avery Shipwit. Congrats, Avery. We hope your arm heals up. Hang in there. And last but not least, Jalen Gokenauer. All right. Thank you all. Now it's time to go do homework.
Or stay for the meeting.
Yeah, right.
We need to clap for Frankie.
Right.
Because you didn't. It's going to be great.
We should. Every thing.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, we have a presentation from Page County High School. Mr. Kale.
There's a clap for him.
We can.
All right. Obviously, I also have Ms. Damone, assistant principal at Page, so she'll be participating in this as well. So, all right. So, on our first slide, one of the things that we're looking at, of course, one of the mantras of the division this year is rowing the boat. And how do we do that together? So, there are some things to make our students successful, put them in line for success. Our SAP, if you don't know what that is, that's our student assistance period in the middle of the day. Our teachers work to bring our students together if they need extra help, if they need extra remediation, bringing them together. We also tried to squeak in under the summer SOL testing window. We were very successful with some students that may not have been successful in the previous spring, but they were successful in the summer, or in that summer window. So that was really, really pleasing to see. Right now, we're working through grade level meetings. We just had our first grade level meetings where we discussed students, what we can do to help individual students. So that was very successful, seeing what they need. Teachers helping each other, bouncing ideas off each other, how we can make each student successful. And then one of the things that's our goal this year is to still increase our reading comprehension. But we do that in every classroom twice a week. That's the expectation that all teachers are working with students with that reading comprehension goal. At the bottom, I want you to take a particular attention to that. With Ms. Damone's help on this one, after the first week of school, we asked students, what is something positive that you can bring out of Page County High School that first week? What is something that you see? Well, the bigger the word up here, the most often that word was used. See the word that's up there, the most or the biggest? That's the teachers. Some of the other words up there that you'll see, the students, people, help, lunch. Well, everybody loves lunch. Helping, staff, teachers again. So you can see even our students in the first week, they're seeing something positive. But the biggest thing there are our teachers, which is the strength of our school. So that's a really neat graphic that Ms. Damone helped us with. Now, where the rubber hits the road. Very proud of this. If you look at the graphic or the bar on the far left of each of those, that's us. That's Page County High School. You can see all the way to the right our most recent scores. Again, compared with the division in blue, compared with the state in orange, not doing too bad in our English reading score. So pretty pleased with that. I mean, if you look at the state, 14 points above state average. That's not too bad. And again, that's to the teachers in the building and not to mention the students. On the next slide, you'll see our SOL scores in math. Now, we're trying to get better. We could stand to get a little bit better there. But that's outstanding. I mean, we've got probably one of the best math staff I've ever worked with. I've been in Fairfax County, Augusta County, and by far it's the best group of people. We'll do anything to get our students to be successful. And that's across the board. So a really good staff there. But really pleased with that. When you just look at comparisons and where Page County High School is, just really, really proud of those folks. Next slide is in science. Continuing the trend, as you can see, it's an upward trend there. 87% this past year. Just, again, they're just knocking it out of the park, working together, almost creating their own PLC, just to bounce ideas off of each other, common assessments. Just a really cool thing that our science department does to help each other out. But again, really pleased with that. When you look at history, that's the next slide, you might think, oh, well, they faltered a little bit. But I want you to see the growth that we've had from 22, 23, 23, 24, and then 24, 25. I mean, that's a jump. And so now we're at the cut score of the state at 70%. And across the state, social studies, and I'm a social studies major, it hurts my heart. Across the state, social studies is down. But if you look at our scores and what we've done, we've got a really phenomenal group of folks that work together on those SOL scores just to do whatever it takes to get them to be successful. Really proud of them. That's an 18-point jump in a year. So that's just awesome. So, and I don't want this to be a dog and pony show. I don't. I mean, all of it looks good. Hey, we are good. I mean, it's looking good. There is something that we want to improve on. There are a couple of groups that we want to raise up. That's not in this graphic, but our students with disabilities, that's one group that we're really focused on this year. We're still above state average, but we want to get better. So that's one of the things that we're focused on this year is that, again, I like to highlight everything we're doing well, but I also want to talk about some of the things that we want to do better. And that's one of the things that we want to improve upon. So now, the fun stuff, Ms. Damone.
So we have a wonderful attendance team at Page County High School that monitors attendance daily. We have our data guru, Miss Erin Smith. She's got charts and she keeps us up to date on all things attendance. And we also have our office secretary. She's kind of been a one-woman show at the beginning of the year because we are short our attendance coordinator and ISS person. So she has been taking on some extra things to help support us in the attendance area. Phone calls, emails, letters going home, asking how we can help support students. And then engaging classroom instruction. We've started some new clubs. The Yarn Club and the Garden Club have been two big successes so far. We have lots of students that are just really interested in being a part of things at Page County High School. So you can see the dark blue section is our chronic absenteeism, and it has gone down significantly each year. And then the bottom, Ms. Erin Smith has already begun calculating where we are for students and who we need to work with to be successful this year.
So our final couple slides here, family engagement, some of the things that we've been doing, really big success. We did our Panther Nation, that's our freshman orientation with help of PACA, helped us out. We had a bounce house or an obstacle course. I think we had less than 10 freshmen not show up. So that was that was the best participation we've ever had. We had an open house, lots of folks just coming into the building. I think students don't want to admit this, but I think they missed school. So a lot came back on that open house night. One of the things that's really neat that we're doing, and it's across the division, is the care closet, which we actually have that open up after school on a few days a week, that we can help out families and students if they need something. We're very well stocked. Our two school counselors, Ms. Lucas and Ms. Lucas, have really helped us out, really taken that on. So it's almost like we need to make knock a wall down to increase it, because they've really stocked it well. Some things that are coming up, again, through our guidance staff: senior information night, again, for seniors, financial aid workshop, and financial aid night. The next thing we're doing, we get excited about this. We get to host folks for free, and I would love to see more people there. It's absolutely free. It's a free meal, free bingo nights. We're waiting for the funding for that, but those are going to happen again. Sometimes it's pancake supper, sometimes it's hot dogs and chips, but it's all free. Prizes are free, cost nothing. So that's something that we started last year that was really successful. We really enjoyed those. And then all of our students are getting in free for sporting events. Thanks to Mr. Powell raising some money, going and knocking on doors. Our students are getting in free for fall events. Hopefully we're going to encourage that to go into the winter and the spring as well. So, and then the last slide we have there, just some pictures. Most of those are from Panther Nation, our orientation. We also have, there was one down in the bottom, in the bottom right. That's our garden club. If you notice the planters out front, Ms. Deb Jones is heading that up. She's got 20 plus kids. She's revamping our greenhouse. She is a go-getter. And we have a lot of students involved with that. In fact, there's Ms. Jones teaching some geometry on the side when she's not gardening, down there at the bottom. But again, just our kids make it a really special place. We got good students at Page, we really do. But we always like to have those hooks, those things that can bring them into the building. And, two of the things that Ms. Damone mentioned, Garden Club and the Yarn Club. And you'd be amazed at some of the people that are interested in knitting. It is a different group, but it's fun to watch when they're in there knitting. So, but you guys have any questions for Ms. Damone or myself?
Great work.
I don't have any questions, but I'll just say, doing an outstanding job.
I appreciate that.
And I'm glad Mr. Manager was able to join you this year.
Oh, yeah.
And Mrs. Smith does a great job with your numbers.
She does.
And things. You had a leg up there.
Yes.
When we first started this.
Yep. She is our attendance guru. That is for sure.
And I think I remember a conversation with you a couple years ago. And that's what spurred some of this on. Is I'll put my school up against anybody. And you can do that with those numbers.
Numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie. So you're doing a great job. I appreciate it.
Well, it's not me. It's not me.
Absolutely.
It's the students and the teachers in that building. It's not me. It's them.
Well done.
Like, big kudos for the kids getting them free to the fall sports.
Yeah.
That's huge. That means a lot. And I had noticed, I'm going to some games, in the past couple of years. I'm like, all right, students, but I think making that change like that, it helps families a lot.
We can look at these two right here. It's blackout night tomorrow night at the football game. I made sure I knew. Veronica made sure I knew that. So.
It's great. Awesome.
That is great.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Mr. Kemp.
Okay, next on the list, we have our two student school board members from Page County High School, and they're going to do a student presentation.
Make sure you introduce yourselves.
Oh, yes.
Hi, I'm Joey Miller. I'm a senior at Page County High School.
Hi, I'm Veronica Yor, and I am a junior at Page County High School.
Here's the Page County High School update. So just a quick building update. We got 5 new teachers this year, a new vice principal. We also brought back a previous staff member and a Page County middle school teacher for the ag department. We got a new guidance secretary and a new gym floor. It's super nice. It's pretty nice.
Okay, so the sports updates. Varsity football won their homecoming game. Thank the Lord for that. Cross country had 3 top runners in the boys race at Central last week. The golf team competed in the district tournament on Monday, which I believe 2 of them are going to regionals.
Yes.
The JV volleyball team had a win over our county rival Luray last week. The JV football team had a huge win over Harrisonburg last week with the score 56-0.
All right.
There's a couple club updates. We have 2 new clubs at Page County High School, the Knitting Club and the Gardening Club. Students are learning how to knit and crochet and cleaning up the greenhouse and plants at Page County High School. And FCCLA is celebrating its membership week this week to welcome new members. Students will be traveling soon to the Virginia State Fair, FCCLA College Day at Bridgewater College, and the Fall Leadership Institute in Orlando, Florida.
Here's some pictures. I think that's freshman orientation and gardening club, and then the greenhouse Mr. Kale was talking about. More club updates. FFA took students to the Northern Arena Leadership Workshop. They also were working on planning Food for America coming up this fall. FBLA has raised $400 so far in their pretzel fundraiser. The money will cover the national first state dues and competition fees. They had their first meeting today, and their officers attended the virtual meeting for Shono regional officers.
So the National Honor Society had their first meeting on September 11th. Students undertook their first group service project of the year, which was cleaning up trash after the football game. They are working to select officers and are planning an induction ceremony for late October for the new members. And students plan to host a trunk or treat again at the Page County High School bus loop. The date for that is to be determined. And we're reaching out to other service clubs to increase high school student participation and make sure there are plenty of stations for our community to visit that night.
Spanish Honor Society had their first meeting on Thursday, the 18th, and elected their officers and laid out goals for this year. They will have their introduction ceremony October 20th, along with Triumph and NHS.
So the Marching Panthers placed first place in guard and third place in visual at their competition at Blast in the Draft, and they'll be competing again this weekend at the Hermitage Classic.
On to Homecoming Week. Students celebrated Homecoming Week with themed days, common decorating contest, powder puff football game, and the bonfire, volleyball games against grade levels and staff, the pep rally, the homecoming dance, and homecoming game with the staff tailgate.
Yeah, thank you. This year's had a great start, and we're just looking forward to many more opportunities throughout the year.
Great job.
Yeah.
That just is terrific.
That's what it's all about.
And it goes back to what Mr. Kale said. It's the teachers, it's the students, it's the whole team. And what you all have shared tonight in just the first, fifth or sixth week of school now? Great job. And make sure you let all those organizations know that we are just very impressed and keep up the good work. Yes, okay.
The Commons looked awesome. I went in last week and I was like, where am I? Y'all did a great job. It looked really,
Good
really
job. All right. Dr. Johnson, Business and Operations Update.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Good evening, members of the school board. Tonight's presentation, we're going to take you at a behind-the-scenes look, and it's difficult to follow students and the excitement at Page County High School and Mr. Kale and his success, but the first two topics are very, very important and hardly ever spoken about. And so I thought it would be a good opportunity just to take a couple of minutes and update the community and the school board on this. So the first thing I want to talk to you about, we have a brand new hazardous communication plan. Thanks to Mr. Dykes, I can't tell you how valuable he is to the school division with his commercial and professional knowledge. We've always had a program in which employees would be able to understand and know the dangers of hazardous chemicals. You think about it, you have them in your chemistry labs, you have them in your cosmetology labs, you have them in HVAC in your equipment, you have people around them and working, quite often, and you never think about it. And historically, we keep these big binders and we list what we have by location. But quite honestly, we would do an overhaul and an update. And so Mr. Dykes has taken on the program to get us up and running. And then he's bringing myself and Mr. Runyon up to speed on we're up and running, how to keep it up and running. And so just to kind of give you it's a lengthy, detailed program with informational and reporting processes that we are going to make sure our employees understand. There will be training on this. It'll be in the employee handbook. that everybody gets to start out a school year. It'll be in the Talent Ed program where folks will validate that they understand what this program is about. We talk about safety all the time, but we don't think about this kind of safety very often. And so I just wanted you to know that this has been a project we've been working on for several months. How do we manage our hazardous chemicals, making sure we label things properly, and that's in accordance with hazmat code. There's safety data sheets that have to be maintained, making sure they're up to date and they're kept, and people know where they're at, and making sure that they're current. As I mentioned, training our staff and making sure information is current on that. Another piece of this, especially right now, as we're getting into our RRRM studies, we have a lot of folks coming and going, making sure that our visitors as well understand what is where and understand the safety efforts that we're making. We want to make sure that we are making people aware of the hazards of the non-routine tasks, such as, if you're getting ready to start work on a project, any employee that's involved in that work, we want to make sure they get the information they need in advance. So again, this is a little bit mundane and a little bit off the beaten path, but it's very important. I just wanted to bring it to your attention tonight. We've been through every school and made sure that we have lists, hazardous chemicals within all of our buildings. And so those have been categorized, listed out, and we have records of that. And then just ensuring that this program is made available to those that are coming and going. So again, not spoken very often of, but we wanted to make sure that this is something that's important. A lot of work has gone into this. Mr. Dykes has been wonderful. And we thought it would be good just to touch on it just for a few minutes this evening.
Good to know.
The next topic is very similar. It goes hand in hand. These are the two big topics that we've been working on for a couple of months. Mr. Runyon and I and Mr. Williams have been working with Mr. Dykes on this one, indoor air quality. So this is pivotal as we are looking at the state of our older buildings, as we're looking at our new HVAC equipment and how it functions, as we look at making sure our roofs don't leak, because all of those things can affect your air quality inside your buildings. And historically, the graph on the left there, if we have a concern, historically what we've done is we've picked up the phone, and we do this regularly. Rockbridge Environmental comes in and they run detailed air quality tests, and we get detailed air quality reports. And that's been good, but that costs money. And so what this program now does is it's made us more proactive. There are some steps that we're implementing before we make that call to Rockbridge. And so, again, just to kind of give you some understanding of what's coming, Mr. Runyon will take the lead as the air quality coordinator working with Mr. Dykes. We will have a division air quality team, and then we will have teams at each school. So the teams at the school would be an administrator, custodian, because they're very much provide oversight to our ducts and our air conditioning systems and wiping down, making sure we don't have mold, or that sort of contaminated product, clinging to the vents, making sure cleaning. So we will have different level teams in place. Some of these we are well underway. The team concept is new. We have gotten very good at our regular inspections and our evaluations. We've also gotten very good at our preventative maintenance with our new work order system, and our maintenance team is on a regular rotation with filters, and we're tracking it all, and we know what needs to be done when. But some of the things that are a bit more that needed to be added to this was to have teams to establish a plan and a procedure. So what I mean by that, if somebody says, it feels like when I go to work, I don't feel well. And so they start to wonder, is it something in the building? Is it something in my classroom? Now there would be a process. You go to your school level team first. Our school level team will have check sheets. Let's go look at the main components in that room. Let's go look and see what's going on. Mr. Dykes told me a story that was fascinating. In one of his other jobs, somebody was ill, and it felt like it was every time they went to work. So they began to assume, must be the air conditioning, must be what's coming through the vent. They looked at it, they studied it, they looked at their equipment was clean, it was running properly. And it was the most bizarre thing. It turned out that person had a bus duty every day, and they were standing drawing in fumes from the exhaust of a bus. And what happened, these teams, when they began to just take a really solid look at, okay, if I'm not feeling well, what are the places I'm going every day? Let's take a look at those locations. Let's take a look at the HVAC. That was an example where that was resolved, physicians were involved, and the division never incurred any expenses bringing in environmental groups to check the air quality. So that's sort of what we're after here. And I thought that was a good example. We want to educate our staff. We want to make sure we're reporting and responding as we need to. And that's not to say there aren't times when we won't bring this group in. You know, we will as needed, but there are steps being put in place which will make us more effective. I hope will give our staff more confidence and trust, and will save the division some money, we hope. So that is another adjustment to a program that we're getting underway right now. Those are the two sort of more deeper things I want to talk about tonight. The next few are just informational. I'm pleased to say that we just found out we've been awarded just a bit over $26,000 in school security money grants. And we're designating that to cameras and handheld radios. I put those pictures up there because I wanted the public to know we have 430 active surveillance cameras right now across the division. Fantastic views. It's been a few years in the making to get the right angles and the right looks, but there's not much we can't see in this division. But we're always on the lookout. We use them all the time. They wear out. So this will allow for some replacement and some upgrades. The same with the radios. We have 196 school level radios. That's not bus radios. These are the walkie-talkies. The beauty of these radios, we got them through local law enforcement. There's channels such that we can speak across the division. So, you know, Mr. Kale has a set and he can speak in the building. But if we have a crisis, if we needed to go get 15 more radios, we could go and get them and flip to another channel and communicate up and down the county. These are really high-level walkie-talkies.
And I'll just add to that, Dr. Johnson. I think one of the things I've been impressed by is I know I take a radio home, and that's a bus radio, different, and you do as well.
Yep.
But I can, from the moment I leave my house till I get here, I'm listening to everything going on, and they pick up it all, from all the way from Rockingham County to here, and that's a huge deal. Because it allows us to stay alert of what's going on. So just want to applaud your crew for
it's a great reminder. You know, 5-7 years ago, we had cameras and radios, but we didn't have the quantity nor the quality. And as Dr. Huber said, when our drivers are out now in their buses, the radios ping off the towers so they can go to Buffalo Gap and still have radio service. We didn't used to have that. Yeah. So just wanted you to know that we just found out about that award this week. So we're very excited about that. This is exciting. I know Mr. Bell will be in front of you again tonight. But I wanted you to know the last auction that you approved about a month ago closed today at 3 o'clock, Mr. Bell. I know you're here somewhere. Yeah, closed just after 4. $3,175 was the number I was given before it closed. That number rose to over $9,000 by 4 o'clock today. So these automated auctions online, GovDeals auctions, we were able to get rid of 2 of our very old buses, a very, very old dump truck. These are vehicles that don't run or barely run, but people get interested. They have the means to fix them up and use them outside of the public sector. An old zero-turn mower that you can't handle the quantity that we have anymore, but it's had value to somebody because we see this bidding. And as that bid closed today, we were over $9,000. So that is wonderful for those old vehicles that are sitting out at the bus garage, and they're at the point where we can't really use them anymore. So I just wanted you to know, the behind the scenes on that as well.
Good.
And lastly, I keep coming back to this fleet vehicle, but I wanted you to see this, and I'm very excited about this. The 2 driver's ed vehicles, and I've told you this recently, that we have been using have now been rotated out for 2 of the new ones that we just got. What I wanted to show you, I took some photos. If you look at the bottom left, that is if you've ever been in a driver's ed vehicle, the teacher sits in the passenger seat. And so that is the teacher brake that is on the right-hand side, passenger side. And our team, so the teacher can hit that brake at any point. And our mechanical team was able to install those. We didn't have to farm those out anywhere. Corey and his team did that. The right side, we were sitting in the car. He was showing me all of this, and we put it in reverse. And those are the two camera views. What I'm thrilled about for students, the right-hand view is sensational. So you're sitting in the car, that's what you're looking at on your reverse camera. That right-hand camera, you can see all points of your vehicle. So as I think about our students, and we're teaching them to drive, and clearly these are the cameras of the future, but as well, we've got inexperienced drivers in our vehicles right now. And so it's exciting that we were able to take a couple of those vehicles and turn them into driver ed vehicles right out of the gate. And I wanted you to see that because I thought it was very exciting. So, and that is all I have tonight.
You've been busy.
We've been busy.
Thank you. That's great. Okay, Ms. Clark, VSBA policy updates.
Good evening, Board. In front of you this evening is another round of VSBA policy updates for informational items this evening. As for most of them, you can tell they were all just reviewed, but with no changes. We're just making sure everything is still up to date. And we have made some minor changes to our concussion protocols. We updated some testing methods that we use there, and we've also clarified our CMT roles to make sure that our school teams are set and ready to go. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Oliver, BDOE SOL cut score changes.
Yes, exciting stuff. Before I start, I just wanted to thank Joey and Veronica and Andrew for being here, and just a great job you guys did. I can't imagine when I was your age getting up and speaking like that. Dr. Huber made the comment as you were speaking, he said, what a great skill that they're learning and practicing. So, well done. So, board members, SOL cut score changes. So, you're likely familiar with obviously SOL tests and this idea that there's cut scores for to determine pass advance, or failing scores. SOLs have been around since 1998. And since that time, the cut scores have been consistent, right? So they've been 400, which seems like an arbitrary number, but we've all become familiar with it. Right? 400 was pass, 500 was pass advance, right? But that's been that way for a long time. If you can go to the next slide, the VDOE has been kind of looking into making some changes to those cut scores. And some of the rationale for that is there's been some studies out there that have referenced Virginia as having particularly low cut scores or proficiency expectations for students when it comes to SOL tests. So as you, I'm sure know, there is no national form of government or form of education, right? So every state has their own education system. That's the way the Constitution was written, right? It said that every state reserve right, it's called. So if it's not mentioned in the Constitution, then the states get to have control of it, and education is one of those areas. And the study that was done indicated that Virginia was particularly low, and so they felt the need to kind of raise the expectations of that. So I think the discussion tonight is actually quite interesting in light of some of the things that Mr. Kale was sharing and some of those things. So some great scores. I was amazed at Dr. Huber. I would not have realized how high those scores were. It's fantastic. But that some of those elements could change based on some of these change in cut scores. In fact, I put up there that they're anticipating them taking a final vote in October. That's not true. They took a vote today. So when I wrote this, there was still some question about when this was going to take place. Now they are going to phase in some of the cut scores, which I'm going to share those some of the details with you in a moment. They are going to take over the next month have some additional discussions with school divisions about what that phase in is going to look like. But it's going to be a 5-year phase in, but we don't know the details of what that's going to look like. So this is an important slide for a couple reasons, in my view. One, I think it's important to see specifically how significant the rise is in cut scores, right? So remember, we had 400 was passed, 500 was pass advanced. And there's this fail basic, which I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but there's just a way of also communicating to families and to schools if a student's below even kind of a basic level. But you can see here, yeah, thank you for making that larger.
Yeah.
For proficiency scores, again, going from 400 to on the left-hand side there, that is the reading. You can see 444, 451, 446, 449, 449, 449, 479, right? So those are significant changes. And then obviously there's also significant changes with the pass advanced, although not quite as dramatic as you see with proficiency. Similar for math on the right-hand side, what those cut scores are going to be looking like for the proposed cut scores, right? So that's gonna have an impact, right? And if you go to the next slide, I'll talk about a few things and some of the implications of this. There we go. Great. So what's this mean? First of all, it is likely that pass rates are going to go down. It just makes sense. The math just the math works, right? The thing to remember is that this will likely be the case for most or all schools. I put most or all. It's going to. I mean, if everybody is going to be right. So we need to be aware of that and be prepared for that, right? Again, there's a lot of opinions on a variety of sides about whether this is a good move or bad move, but that doesn't really matter, right? Whether opinions about it, it's sort of it is the reality, right? Keeping testing results in context and understanding the cut score change. This is going to be important to know, right? As scores come back, that they will likely be lower, and we need to take that into consideration. And these pass rate comparisons from previous years will be less informative, right? So I love the chronology that Mr. Kale showed, right? In the improvement that was happening. Hope not, but next year that will likely dip. That doesn't necessarily mean that kids are performing worse or that we're doing not as good a job, but it's going to maybe appear that way. The schools aren't performing as well. Pass rates in comparison to other school divisions will be more instructive than looking at pass rates, right? Your own pass rates. And I'll give an example of that. My first year as a principal, they made changes in the math standards. I don't know if it was this cut, I don't believe it was the cut score at the time. There's a lot of mumbo jumbo that goes on with these scores sometimes, right? The number of questions you have to get right to pass, or the cut scores in this case, right? But I remember us getting we knew that was the case. We didn't know what the impact was going to be. And in particularly in the school I was in, the 6th grade math scores went down dramatically. They went down like 20%. My first year, I thought I was going to get fired. I mean, I literally, as these scores came in, I'm like, this is the end of me, right? And the more information that came in, we found that we actually had outperformed every other middle school in the county and were well above the state average. So we went from like 85 to 65, and we were still well above from a pass rate perspective. So what's going to be important, and we're fortunate to be a part of the CIP consortiums. That's where we got some of the information about the improvements that Paige has made. It's going to be important for us to not just necessarily cherry pick certain things and then draw, major conclusions off of that. You're going to have to look at scores and then be patient and say, okay, well, what does this look like in comparison to other divisions, other schools? not necessarily just what it looked like compared to the year before, right? So we don't know yet, right? No one knows what these scores are going to look like. There are some projections out there that would show dramatic changes in test scores, right? Dramatic changes. So I'm not going to go throwing those around because they're still just projections about this, right? And but it could have a significant impact, and we want to be aware of that. And the board needs to be aware, and teachers need to be aware, and families, right? And we'll need to do a good job of communicating this. Right now, this is, we're still early in this. We're not going to know kind of what the phase in is going to be until October. Once we get that information, then we'll start thinking about how do we communicate this out with those folks. The last couple slides there just continue on our current path. Good teaching is good teaching, right? We're going to continue to do what we're doing and still striving to improve every day. That's what we want teachers to do, what we want students to do. I put the last row of the boat, right? So we're all in this together. We're all going to work at it between central office folks, school administration, teachers. We're going to face the challenge head on, but just want to be sure that we also manage expectations and just know what things can look like. Yes, ma'am.
Question. We started it in 98, and it wasn't until 2004 that it was a mandate by the state that you had to pass what was required. So there was a phase in of 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
How would, if it was phased in this year, of course, seniors have pretty much taken all the SOLs they need, so it won't affect them too much. But what about the upcoming seniors? If this changes, and I mean, I guess there's more information to come, but I would be concerned until we get more information that this could affect juniors, sophomores as they go up from being able to graduate.
And seniors too, because you have those seniors that didn't get that
Well, that's
SOL
true.
score in
Yes.
a later grade, so they're
Yes.
still trying to get those past an SOL.
There's a lot of layers to this, and I think what we want tonight is out there, because then you're going to start talking about things like working verified credits or credit accommodations or students with disabilities. How does that change all of this? What we wanted to do was make sure the board and the community is aware this is happening. We don't know how it's going to play out, but I'll say it, and I'll say it on record, is that I want us to what Dr. Oliver said, we keep rowing the boat, right? And I want our kids to be good human beings before I care about an SOS.
Amen.
And I don't know if that's the most professional thing to say in my role, but I want them to be good human beings. And we'll let this play out and we'll figure it out. But what I don't want is our teachers and our staff to get lost in the noise of this and think they have to do something different.
Right.
So keep doing the right thing, right? Keep teaching, helping our kids, being kind, and let's let this play out. And we'll go from there. It's kind of my approach. And maybe that's wrong, but I don't want us getting distracted by some of this stuff.
I guess
don't think it helps you.
with the State Department, I guess they're working with the school systems and all that, because as a counselor, I saw seniors who were maybe lacking one SOL credit. And there was one in particular that took it 2 times on the day of graduation. They failed it the first time. They passed it the second time and nearly just broke down because of the stress and everything. And that worries me, because if you're making the grade, that's one thing, but the test is a shot in, one
And I think
time.
Ms. Clark and Mr. Kale will tell you they've seen kids go through that. It's
Yeah,
not
I'm sure.
pleasant. It
Yes,
is not
I'm sure.
pleasant. And I think it's been 4, 5, 6 times. I know I've seen it. I've had to have those conversations with parents. And it's not pleasant. The child has done everything you've asked them to do, but you didn't get to that 400. Now those scores are higher.
Yeah.
But I just want our teachers and our staff to know, and I think
Mr. Kale's presentations, to tell students that they're doing the right thing.
Yep.
And just keep them.
Well, just
And
keep
we'll
us-
handle that stuff.
I'm glad you brought it forth, because I have a friend in Stanton, and Stanton did a big news article in the paper, and I already know that some of that information wasn't correct after what you shared tonight, so that's a good thing, but still, I do worry about those, because in my opinion, tests don't tell it all. But I know you got to do what they say, but I worry about
I
that. But
think part of our contingency plan as we get ready for the academic and instruction and all of that is also the morale of our students and staff, because we've all seen students beat themselves up over these tests. We've seen teachers beat themselves up over these tests, and that's not the way it's supposed to be. If your measure of success is that, we've got a problem. But I digress. So
okay.
I'm just curious, when you presented tonight, the reasoning behind it, we never heard. We just heard this new thing coming. And we didn't know really what it was. It was kind of thrown on us, right? And the only positive is the expectations only raised 10%. But at the same time, you're barely getting to 400. That's a tough one. But I'm just wondering, the BDOE, with the new administration, there's no chance of going backwards, right? I mean,
I would
I mean,
not
that's-
pretend to predict. I would tell you that these things are political,
yes.
and BDOE is, many of those folks are appointed. I think that depending on the gubernatorial election, I think I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, but some of this could be rolled back. I mean, I think a phase-in plan, again, I'm just guessing, but having a phase-in plan, I would be surprised if a phase-in plan would impact current seniors. I think that would be poorly received.
Yeah.
Right. And that would just seem like a low blow to do that with seniors. And I don't think the BDOE is out to try to, I mean, I don't think they're trying
they're just trying
to
to
destroy
elevate
18-year-olds,
things.
right? I mean, I don't think that's their intent. They are trying to raise expectations. And so, to answer your question, I don't know the answer, but it's not outside the realm of possibility that what is being decided in October doesn't make it the 5-year plan that they decide, right? I don't think that's a far stretch to say.
okay, whiplash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's what our staff is.
Yeah.
Well, it was the slowest whiplash ever. I mean, the way they rolled it out.
Yeah.
The different things that's happened. It's been very disappointing to me personally. It is.
Yeah. No, it's
Well, I
But
was,
we can do it. We've already shown that we can do great
Oh,
things.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and what I would say, I mean, honestly, maybe it's because competition such a large part of who I am. I spend all this time looking at what other school divisions do, right? Like, it's like, I don't necessarily spend time looking at the raw score. I just want to know, how does this rate in comparison to, I mean, so if you score 90% pass rate and 80% of schools scored better than you, then 90% is not that good. If you score at 70% and only 10% scored above you, 70% is pretty good, right? So it feels like there's a lot of relativity in there. And so I just would caution to be, that's why I think what Mr. Kale was saying about when he showed, this is what the state average is and this is what Page County High School was. That's a powerful statement, more than just looking at the number by itself. Right. So we'll just have to continue to work through that and say, are we doing better than expected? Right? We're punching above our weight. I mean, that's a better indicator.
And I think the way we respond to upset conditions is huge. When it's quick, when it's decisive, that's what you want to allow this to improve. So whatever those things are, everybody rowing the boat. That's huge. What we're trying to do here. We can do this. I believe it.
Okay. All right, thank you. Mr. Bell, the auction items.
Good evening, board members. As Dr. Johnson alluded to in his update, we had our first auction of the fiscal year ending today, and we were very pleased with the results. Our bus garage has identified some additional cars and a bus that in their estimation would be appropriate to go out to auction. And so I'm coming before you as an informational item tonight and action at the next meeting to get authorization to put these out to bid as well. If there are any questions, I'll be more than happy to do my best to answer them.
That's good. Thank you. Dr. Huber, superintendent update.
Absolutely. Good evening, board members, members of the community, and the audience. I have a very brief update for you. I think there's been a lot of information shared already tonight. So just a couple of items I wanted to highlight for you as we go into Row the Boat. What a great picture that is, by the way, that I loved when I was looking through some things today. That's good stuff. But those recognitions are coming in faster than my signature can hit the paper. So 351 doesn't include the entire transportation department that I just signed today, that we did for every single member of that department with a specific message. So those are going strong, and I'm proud of our group and our colleagues for recognizing each other, and our students and staff and parents, just recognizing little things that make a big difference in their kids' lives, and I'm all about that. So just wanted to give you an update there. Just an enrollment update, as I've continued to do. We're pretty steady on where we were last meeting, just so you're aware. Not too much of a difference, definitely a little bit better than last year, and certainly a little bit more aligned with our budgeted ADM. And again, I'm always presenting you conservative numbers. So just want to always put that in front of you so you know where we're at financially as well. Do want to recognize our month of September, but really should be every month, is just suicide prevention resources for our parents and students. There's information on this slide provided for everyone, whether it's to text the 988 line or the chat, or accessing some of those online resources. We just always want to make sure everybody's taken care of, whether that's a colleague, a student, a parent, and wanted to put that out there. And I appreciate the recognition or the information, but I also want to make sure people know it doesn't just stop in September. It's every day, all day. And so those resources are there, and I just want our community to be aware of that. Just moving forward. Attendance awareness, we talked about this before. And again, it's not just September where attendance matters. It's every student, every day. I love the months and the themes, but I need every kid here every day. And even when it's tough, and, there's something to be said about, getting up in the morning and seeing that sunshine and putting 2 feet on the floor and taking a step forward. And sometimes that's all you need. So I just want to encourage our parents and our staff that to continue, even when we get into October, November, December. Sometimes those are harder months to attend school, but regular attendance, it really does matter, and it makes a big difference. So we just want to bring that to light again. We have an exciting event upcoming this weekend. It's our RAM Clinic, which will be at Luray High School, running all weekend. And we're happy to host that as a community. It's a great resource. I hope that people take advantage of it. We'll have a lot of staff on hand there to support that process. And so I just encourage people to come out if they need dental or that vision care or that medical care that is available, and it will be staffed, and we're happy to host it. And I thank our school staff, nutrition staff, our directors that are going to be there. Thank you all for covering that. I appreciate that very much. And that's my short, brief update. So just want to continue to talk about team, and that's where that quote comes from for the group. So questions from the board for me?
Good stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to action items, and Ms. Miller, claims for payment.
Yes, good evening, school board members. You have been provided with the claims certification where total operating fund expenditures are $269,121.31. Along with this, you've been provided with a list of claims and check registers. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Make a motion, we approve the claims for payment as presented.
Second.
We have a motion made by Ms. Taylor and a second by Mr. Alger, I'm sorry.
I answered the vote.
Oh, well,
Yes.
Yes.
yes. Okay, and purchase over $10,000.
Yes, thank you again. You have been provided for your consideration one purchase order over $10,000 this evening, and this is for the Sunday System reading program being paid from funds from Comprehensive Literacy Grant that was awarded to Page County Middle School and Luray Elementary School.
I'll make a motion that we approve the POs for over $10,000 as presented.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Painter and second by Ms. Bryant.
Yes.
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 Thank you.
Okay, school board meeting, date change.
Yep.
Huber?
Yes. Just bring it to the board for action to eliminate our second meeting in October. We have several staff conflicts on October the 23rd, so my proposal and request for action is that we eliminate that school board meeting date. We'll make it public, so everyone is aware. So we would only have one meeting.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the meeting change, date change as presented to eliminate the 10/23 meeting.
Motion by Mr. Painter and second by Ms. Alger.
Yes.
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 Yes. Ms. Clark, BSBA policy updates.
Okay. So an action item from last meeting, we had 9 policies we had presented that were basically review, no changes, and minor wording updates. Were there any questions prior to going to action?
I'll make a motion that we approve the VSBA policy updates as presented by Ms. Clark.
A second.
A motion by Mr. Painter and second by Ms. Bryant.
Yes.
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 Yes. Board members' comment. Well, I'll start. I love these type of meetings, especially when we have the students come and all the things that they are doing. And I wish we could just put it all in the page news and let everybody see that, because so many times we don't know a lot, but these presentations and then them coming in, good for Page County. And I mean, everybody, both volunteers in the community and everybody in the school system, they're making it happen. And how lucky are our young people to have that? And so I'm just so excited. And somehow we got to toot our horn to get some of this stuff out of there, And like I said, maybe we can get one of the reporters to come to our meetings and they can just get all that down.
10 o'clock tonight, we've got 2 stories airing on WH.
Yes, you do. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So everybody watch them. Or
Yes.
tomorrow morning.
I'm done.
Yeah, I love the recognitions of the students. I want to keep that going. It was really great to see a lot of the kids, were my old students at Springfield or that I substituted for at Luray Elementary or that I worked with at the rec. So I just love, I mean, you see kids young, you wonder kind of where they're going to go, and to see them accomplishing so much, it's awesome. The SOL score thing, it's hard, but as Mr. Painter said, I think we just have to keep the main thing, and keep doing what we're doing, and we will prevail. I'm sure of it. I don't know if many people noticed, but when Mr. Kale put the word cloud up, there was a lot of big words, but also the word freedom was on there. Which was really just kind of hit, that's what kids are looking at school as, and that's huge. So I've heard other terms used for school sometimes, so that the kids are seeing that as a safe place, a way to, connect with people, and that's because of the teachers, that's because of the other students and the culture we're creating around kindness and support, and it's awesome. So that's all I got for tonight.
Thank you.
Congratulations to all the students tonight. Big deal. And it's awesome to see that keep going. Thank you for bringing that in. Veronica and Joey, you did a great job. Very well spoken. I love the energy, and you represented your school very well tonight. Dr. Johnson, thank you for being so thorough. I really appreciate the attention to detail, and then that helps, future employees follow up with all those things, because they are really big deals. So thank you guys for doing that. And for the auctions and, just being very responsible with the things that we have that we can no longer use, and we're still being responsible with those funds. So thank you all for your hard work, and I'm excited to see where the rest of the school year goes. Mr. Kale, I'm very excited about your scores, and I love the yarn and the gardening club. I mean, they say about idle hands, so way to teach them young. Good job, all positive stuff. So keep it heading that direction. Thank you all.
Yeah, I would like to see what Mr. Kale could yarn up sometime.
Good one. Good one.
So on the rec center that Taylor and I have been able to enjoy, and I've seen it work, as they're restarting a tutoring program. And I know I've reached out to the National Honor Society folks, kids again, for opportunity to help them be able to get that together. I need to find out about this pretzel fundraiser. So y'all need to stay after and tell me what's going on. I was at a business meeting the other day, and a guy that works in our county, and in 2 years, all his children are going to move up into a different school, like one's in high school, all at the same time, middle school starting. And his goal is to get his children and move over to Page County because of the schools that we have.
Cool.
That is an awesome comment. That's a reflection of all what you're doing. It's a reflection of our students as well. I went to cross country yesterday, and Joey had his senior day, and me and Ms. Veronica was around the bend down there, and she is a great representative of your school. She told me all the people's names. She's cheering them on. It's really good stuff, and welcome to the first meeting, and welcome to you as well. I also went to the Luray and Page volleyball games, and that had a mixture of, I think, the middle school Page, JV Page, and then Luray varsity won. And Luray has some real hitters. And for us to win these scores, we're going to have to hit it on all cylinders, just like that team. So keep up the good work, and I really believe that engaging our students to help other students is maybe a way forward for us. I really do believe that. Some way we can get these young people to help others in their studies. I think that's a potential win for us. I hope we can explore that in a greater deal. But thank you. Great meeting tonight. Thank you all. Thank you. Welcome.
I think all I have to say is I think these guys did absolutely phenomenal with their presentation, and I think all the information presented tonight was important and very interesting.
And I always want you to feel the opportunity to speak your mind and point as we go through, because your voice is so important. Because you are on the end of what we're all trying to do right, and we'll listen. So I welcome you, and I just want you to know that we have that opportunity to always tell us what's your perspective. So
I just want to say thank you for all the welcomes. It's been really nice to feel just like there's a student here.
No.
So
And I just want to say that it's so nice to see the behind the scenes of what's actually going on as a student than it is just because we just see the staff. We don't get to see all of y'all doing all the hard work, security and everything like that. So it's really nice to see everyone's doing their job. Like all these kids complain, but they don't know what actually goes on behind the scenes. And I think that needs to be shown.
Right, that's really good perspective. Thank you for sharing that. Go.
I just want to commend the positive mindset here. I love the whole row the boat thing. I think that, we're presented with something like that SOL scores. Instead of dwelling on it, everybody was just saying, oh, well, it's time to just be doing what they're doing and we're going to get through this. I think that's a great mindset to have, and that's a great way to look at things when things aren't going exactly how you.
Second. We have a motion to adjourn by Ms. Alger and second by Ms. Bryant.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.